Hey, fifth grade, we're going to review a little bit about exponents and we're going to take it a step higher. So we're going to remember that saying that you probably heard before, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. It tells us the order of things that we should do with order of operations. So P in please excuse my dear Aunt Sally is parentheses. So we see that 8 times 3 has parentheses around it. So that means we have to do that first. 8 times 3 is 24. I know that's a fact family that many of you might struggle with, so let's put that in our problem. The next thing is an E, and E stands for exponent. So now we know what exponents are, we can solve them. 10 times 10 is 100. Now this should be a simple problem for us to solve. We have 24 times 100, and 24 times 100 is very simple for us. We just have our 24. I'm running out of room here. But you'll get it, 24, and how many zeros? 2, and I put my comma in the wrong place. Got to put it in the right place now. So 2,400. Now here's one for you to try. Please don't forget parentheses first, then exponents. Pause the video now. Now we're going to solve it. 6 times 6 is in the parentheses, so we're going to do that first. And there's Addison in the background saying hello. 36 times, and then we're going to move over to the exponents, and the exponent here is 4, so I'm going to do 10 times 10 times 10 times 10 4 times, so that means I have 4 zeros. So I'm doing 36 times 10,000. And 36 times 10,000 is 36 with 4 zeros. So I'm going to put it right here. So it's 360,000 as my answer. I hope you got the same. Here's a slight variation of the previous problem. This one has the parentheses around the problem with the exponent. So you don't have to choose what you would do first. You would do the part in the parentheses. So I have 6 times 10 to the second power, which is 100. So 6 times 100 is 600. And then I have that times 7. And 7 times 600 is, I'm running out of room here, so I'm going to write it pretty small, 42, right? And how many zeros? 2. So it's 4,200. We're going to try one now on our own, just like this. Try this one now on your own and pause the video to do the problem. Now I'm going to show you how to do it. We have 2 times 10 to the third power. 10 to the third power is 1,000. 1,000 times 2 will be 2,000. So I'm going to bring down my 9 and do 9 times 2,000, and that answer is 18 and 3 zeros, 18,000. Make sure you're thinking about the simple fact, 9 times 2, and then you're adding on those 3 zeros. Here's one that could be tricky, and I wanted you to watch it along with me. So first we do our exponents. 10 to the second power is 100 times 5. So that's simple enough. 500, correct? But then I see I have a 6, and this is where it could get tricky. 6 times 5 is 30. There's already a 0 here, but we need to count how many zeros we currently still have over here. 1, 2. So I need to tack on an additional 2 zeros. So my answer would be 3,000, not 300. Some people might decide they already saw a 0 and they're only going to add one more. But you also have to think, does that make sense? It absolutely doesn't as the answer, because 500 would be more than the answer at 300. So make sure you're paying attention to those zeros. They can get a little tricky. Hey fifth graders, I'm here and ready for science class, and I have my microscope. There's been a fly flying around our room, you know. Many of you have named it Elvis to the third power. But this fly, I'm going to try to capture it and put it under my microscope to see some things. But when I capture it, I'm going to measure it, and usually flies get measured at 9 millimeters in length. So what if I put it underneath this microscope and it's magnified 9 times 10 to the third power? What size would the length of the fly be appearing then? Here's the problem that I just gave you. So I'm going to highlight the important information. The cluster fly is 9 millimeters, and when I magnify it, it's going to be that big. So when I'm writing my problem, now it should look like this. 9 times 10 to the third power. So I'm going to be multiplying how big the fly is times how big I'm going to be magnifying it. Now, I know that I'm going to be magnifying it 9 times 1,000, which is 9,000. So now I have 9,000 times 9. 9 times 9 is 81. And how many zeros? 3. So 81,000 millimeters would be the size of the fly when used with the magnifying glass. Now you're going to try one on your own. Here's the problem I just gave you. I would like you to write your own number sentence to start and solve it. Pause the video now. Now here's what your sentence should have looked like. 4 millimeters, the size of the fire ant, times 4 times 10 to the third power. We start with what's in the parentheses, so we have 4 times 1,000 times 4. So I will be doing 4,000 times 4, and that will equal 16,000 millimeters, the size of the fire ant when magnified. In class, we'll go over this some more and practice it.